Hello, my name is Elliot, and today I will be talking about job satisfaction in Mexican maquiladoras. Maquiladoras significantly contribute to the Mexican economy, with their products representing nearly half of the nation's total exports. Enforced by the Mexican government in 1965 to increase its employment rate, maquiladoras resulted in an increase in employment by around 86%, according to the World Atlas. Although the employment rate had grown significantly, the implementation of maquiladoras led to the utilization of cheap labor by foreign corporate companies, hiring millions of uneducated workers at low rates. The fate of Sisyphus in Albert Camus' Myth of Sisyphus helped formulate my research question, because after some brief research on job satisfaction rates in Mexico, I found that maquiladora workers are in a never-ending cycle of work and discontent, being trapped in their jobs, as Sisyphus was with his punishment of rolling a rock up to the top of the mountain only to have it fall back down to the bottom when he reached the top. So with all of this being said, I was able to come up with this research question. Is job satisfaction an issue for labor workers in Mexican maquiladoras? First of all, we need to know how to measure job satisfaction. According to Mark Fabian and Robert Brunig, job satisfaction involves job security, working conditions, job conformity, and wages, where the better and higher of these factors leads to higher job satisfaction. The measurement of job satisfaction here is contrasted to Richard Nixon's method of calculating it through productivity. This was addressed in his Labor Day speech in 1971. The way that job satisfaction is measured in this case proves that it is more personal, so that it is focused on individual work and not how firms and how successful they are. So the first perspective I will be talking about today is the maquiladora owner perspective. According to researchers at the Autonomous University of Chihuahua, all maquiladoras take measures to have a safe working environment, where workers are required to use the safety gear related to their job, protecting them from harmful machines and chemicals. Additionally, efforts take place every year to convey the significance of well-being. With these safety measures enforced in maquiladoras, the working conditions should be at a high level, meaning that workers' overall job satisfaction is favorable. Worker treatment is also positive in these maquiladoras, allowing for freedom of expression in their factories and putting workers as the biggest factor when making decisions. Workers have the opportunity to express the need for changes in the firm, given that they are able to produce innovative ideas that in this manner result in development and advancement of the firm. The owners explain that worker engagement and opinions are important to them in order for everybody's best interests to be put forward. The freedom that workers receive describes the constructive treatment that they face in these firms. Moreover, the majority of owners said that the laying off of staff is considered as the last alternative on the account of budget cutbacks. Having said, job security in this case is also high, leading to a higher job satisfaction. Now, onto a socialist perspective. According to the socialist worker, maquiladora workers are faced with poor and substandard working conditions. They are exposed to unidentified chemicals and dangerous machinery on a daily basis. Maria, a worker in the Sunrise Medical maquiladora in Tijuana, has suffered from chemical burns from an unknown substance, causing the side of her face to become dark gray in color. Furthermore, workers in the maquiladoras have also lost their hands and fingers through machinery. In addition to the working conditions inside maquiladoras, work shifts are also exceedingly long. The average shift of a maquiladora worker is at least 12 hours a day, according to the World Atlas. This brings by the fact that longer working hours leaves less time for workers to care about their health, their food, their children, which leads to an overall lower job satisfaction. Workers in the Sunrise Medical maquiladora are also oppressed against, having no voice or opinion in the workplace. After the owners at the Sunrise Medical Maquiadora found that Maria had chemical burns on her face, they asked her to leave her job as a labor worker. They claimed that Maria came to the workplace as she appeared, when she had actually experienced these burns from the maquiadora itself. The treatment of Maria shows that maquiadora owners take advantage of the vulnerability of workers, not allowing them to tell their side of the story. Low wages are also a part of worker dissatisfaction. Being paid minimum wage and cannot afford many basic necessities. The average wage that is being paid to maquiadora workers is around 400 pesos for a 60-hour week, whereas the average cost of living through basic necessities is 350 pesos a week. This leaves little to no money to spend on healthcare, education, and housing, as workers are on the border of the poverty line. Shanty towns were created nearby maquiadoras since they did not have enough money to afford electricity or running water. Since these wages are insufficient, workers are not able to maintain a sustainable life where they can barely afford to care for themselves and their family, showing that job satisfaction is a problem in maquiadoras. Now, comparing these two perspectives, job satisfaction in the eyes of workers is exceptionally low, whereas owners feel the exact opposite. The problem with the socialist perspective on this issue is that it only focuses on the negative impact that maquiadoras have on their workers, implying there were no positives through the experiences. The problem with the maquiadora owner's perspective is that they could have come up with false information to help boost their image. Furthermore, there was no concrete evidence from the maquiadora owners of any worker job satisfaction. This shows that these conclusions that they made were heavily reliant on assumptions of working conditions and worker treatment. However, the evidence based on worker job satisfaction would make more sense coming from maquiadora workers themselves, therefore making the socialist perspective the one to answer the question. In conclusion, job satisfaction is a problem for labor workers in maquiadoras because of workers being treated unfairly, substandard working conditions, and low wages. Thank you.
Okay, so Elliot, my first question to you is, in your research, it's kind of a difficult topic to research, right?
Yeah.
So what information do you wish you could have found, and why do you think maybe you weren't able to find it?
I think that I would have liked to find more information on workers in maquiadoras that were situated in Tijuana, like a more specific region, so then my data wouldn't vary so much. Because when I first started this research process, it started off with a broad scope of just maquiadoras themselves and the working conditions that were met and job security and all that. But what I would like to do is focus on a specific region, which was pretty hard to do because I found that these workers in Tijuana, I wanted to see if many other workers in different maquiadoras and who were working in different types of industries were also feeling the same type of oppression they were.
Okay, great. And if you could extend this research, do you see connections or other connections with what you found with maquiadoras to a wider context?
Sorry, could you repeat that?
Yeah, sorry. Yes, so you've discovered all this information about the maquiadoras and working conditions and job satisfaction. What connections do you see to the wider context?
Well, I think that what I've found in these my research in maquiadoras relates to modern day slavery, because since they do not get as the socialist perspective stated, they don't have a say in what they want. But however, what I found really interesting was in the owner's perspective, they had actual ongoing projects for feedback for the company itself. So similar to slavery, I was saying, I found that since they do not have a say and they're always being oppressed against, this could be a close relation.